This is my review of SIFTD Games YouTube channel. I'm not going to review their website. I know SIFTD Games is a website that people use for information about video games. But SIFTD Games YouTube channel is started by Shane Satterfield probably about, seemed like 6 years ago or something like that. Um, Shane Satterfield is kind of a famous person in the game industry. He was in charge of game trailers when Game Trailers was the biggest gaming website on the internet. Right after GameSpot was the biggest gaming website on the internet. And actually, Shane Satterfield worked for GameSpot um, before, and then he came to Game Trailers. And it's funny because when he worked for GameSpot, GameSpot was the biggest video game website on the internet, and then he went to Game Trailers, and then Game Trailers became the biggest video game website on the internet. And right now, SIFTD Games has about 15,000 subscribers on YouTube, so it's actually not that big. SIFTD Games is not that big, so it's funny that he was massively successful at previous two ventures, but this one is actually not. I think he makes money from it. I don't think he makes that much money from it. He should probably it should probably be bigger than it is, but um, the guys that left, the other guys that left Games Trailers, I think they started a different YouTube channel, and all those old game journalists that used to work for other companies, they started their own content creation stuff. So everyone went off to start their own stuff after the big publishers closed down and all that stuff. Um, but SIFTD Games is famous for Pachter Factor, which I'm a big fan of Pachter Factor. Michael Pachter is a like an equity uh, stock market person. He works with technology companies, like especially video game companies. So he likes to promote his knowledge of video games on this his business acumen and his knowledge of video games on um, SIFTD Games, where he used to do it on Game Trailers, and so he kind of uh, Shane Satterfield brought him from Game Trailers to SIFTD Games. Um, I really like that show, A Pachter Factor, because you hear about the business news in the gaming world and how I'm very interested in business, and I I used to be more passionate about video games than I am now, but the Michael Pachter is a really interesting person because he's famous for making projections about video games, and people make fun of him for making projections because they say, "Oh, he's always wrong. Michael Pachter's always wrong. Whatever Pachter says, the opposite's going to happen." But no, but I think Pachter's right most of the time. I think he's usually right. If you want to hear what's going on in the business news of video games, I like business news. I like video games. I like how they combine it in Pachter Factor. They also have a show called Game Face on SIFTD Games, which is just a general gaming podcast, gaming show with B-roll backup videos of the games, the background of what they're talking about. The it reminded me of a show on GameTrailers.com. They had the same show basically. They had more people on it, and now they just have one other. I think the other guy's name is like Andrew Kyle or something. I'm really bad with names, but the other guy used to work for G4 TV. Um, did I make this SIFTD Games review already? Sorry, I'm double check to make sure I didn't make this. I feel like I've talked about this before. No, I've never made SIFTD Games review. I review a lot of YouTube channels on my YouTube channel because I'm interested in the culture of YouTube and the culture of all this stuff changing and people going from thing to thing, and yeah, I'm interested in all that stuff, and I want to see Shane Satterfield succeed. But Andrew, I think the other host of Game Face is Andrew Kyle. I might be making that name up, but he's really good too. He used to work for G4 TV. He had the same type of video podcast or video show on their website, g4tv.com. That was when their channel started to invest a lot of money into their website, and with Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb and all that stuff. They started investing a lot of money in that website, and so he was one of the hosts of the G4 TV, gaming show. Um, he was really good on there. He's really good on here. He's basically the same as he always was. Shane Satterfield is a really good host. And in the Game Trailers version of this show, he had more people. He had like 4 or 5 people on per show. Now there's just 2 people. It's just him and Andrew. Again, I'm not sure if his name's Andrew. I have really bad memory, but they're really good at talking about video games. I think they focus more on console games, where like a lot of the other YouTube channels, like they kind of focus a little bit more on PC games, which I don't really play that many video games anymore. Anyways, I watch stuff like this because I like to hear people talk about what they're passionate about. I like to hear charismatic people talk. And I do like the background footage. Like I just saw them review like some like X-Men Marvel game or something, with like characters of the Avengers in the background or something. So it's you can see the video game footage while they talk about the video game, and it's like a really good podcast. So I'm hoping that Shane Satterfield succeeds at this channel, and he has a website that goes with it, SIFTDGames.net. The website, I don't use the website, honestly. I don't see the purpose of the website, but I've always liked his YouTube channel. I've always liked video footage of what they do. Not saying the website's bad, I'm just saying I don't use it personally. But then again, I don't actually watch that much stuff about video games. The only video game I play right now is Clash Royale, which I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's a pretty big mobile game. But I actually play it on the PC. I have a BlueStacks, emulator thing for the PC where I can play Clash Royale in a big vertical rectangle on my screen. And Clash Royale is the only video game I play right now. Partially because my PC is designed for making YouTube video. It's designed to have high RAM, but the graphics card, it doesn't have a cooling system. My PC doesn't. I actually bought a PC that doesn't have enough fans, but I did that on purpose because the one with enough fans would cost like $2,000, and this one cost $1,300. I just wanted to be able to make YouTube videos and have 16 gigs of RAM and browse the internet without the whole thing crashing. That's why we got 16 gigs of RAM. But I didn't. I didn't. It actually has a pretty nice graphics card in here, but it's not. I don't use the graphics card because the whole computer is going to melt down if I turn the graphics card on because there's just not enough fans. I bought this PC for the RAM. I wanted 16 gigs of RAM so that I can quickly, just browse the internet. My cousin used to make fun of me when I would say browse the internet because he's like, "What do you mean browse the internet? It sounds dirty." Like he thought I was looking at some weird stuff. No, I read Twitter a lot. I actually tweet a lot, so I'm very interested about the culture of the internet. The So I might start doing more YouTube channel reviews, reviewing YouTube channels that I watch because I do watch a lot of YouTube. Or I might start talking more about music on this channel. I was reading a lot of short stories on here. I'm still going to read a lot of short stories, but I think it can get obnoxious if I try to record too many audiobooks on this channel because um, I don't think people really want to hear that many audiobooks. I think people do want to hear audiobooks, but I think it's better to have a broad channel than it is to have a narrow channel. That's just my opinion. Um, I think that I'm trying to figure out things to create that people actually want to watch. So, anyways, I watched SIFTD Games. The show Game Face is a 3 hour long show, so there's like a million episodes of them of 3 hours long of these guys talking about video games, and they're really charismatic. And one of my favorite things about listening to podcasts or any show like this is just hearing people talk. I could watch people talk about anything. I've watched people talk about music like this. I've watched people talk about politics like this, history, um, business. I could watch a show like this about anything. I just want to hear people talk, and that's the only reason a lot of times people do listen to shows like this. It's also available in its audio form. You can probably download the podcast of Game Face somewhere, maybe Spotify. I don't know all the places they have podcasts, um, but I call it a podcast because it's more just to hear the people talking more than it is the visual demonstrations. The visual stuff is cool too. I like the B-roll. I like the video parts, but I just like hearing people talk about what they're passionate about. And I could see people talk about movies or politics or whatever, music, but it is sometimes fun to go back to the old video game stuff because like I used to watch this stuff a lot like 12, 14 years ago, like 10 years ago. I used to watch a lot of stuff like this because, um, I feel like I get better at communicating when I listen to other people who are good at communicating or confident enough to communicate on a digital format. I think I learn a lot from that because I have a communication disability. I'm always trying to get better at communicating, and that's why I try to watch people like this talk about stuff like this. I actually don't enjoy as much of listening to. I actually don't enjoy it as much actually communicating with people as much as I do listening to people talk. And I think people find that obnoxious about me that I don't enjoy talking as much as I enjoy listening to people talk. So a lot of times I'm in a conversation with someone, and I'm like, yeah, and I'm just like I don't want to say anything because I don't have anything to say. But I enjoy listening to people talk because it's more informative to me. Because I don't really get anything out of hearing my own voice. I do get stuff from publishing these YouTube videos because I like to see the stats. Oh, 20 people viewed my channel today. Oh, 5 people viewed my channel today. And I get, dopamine from that, from people watching me. But as far as like back and forth conversations, I'm not as into that. Um, because it's usually like somebody wants something or there's usually like some like sexual tension or some weird tension when it's like a back and forth conversation with someone. I'm more into like vlogs like this where I can just communicate my stream of consciousness ideas. People might think it's weird, but this is what the 21st century is, and I think this is going to be a bigger and bigger form of mass communication. And then the the thing is, most YouTubers don't make any money. Most of them aren't monetized. Most of them don't have 1,000 subscribers. Most of them fail before they succeed. So it's cool to see SIFTD Games. They do have 15,000 subscribers, and they get monetized at 1,000 subscribers. So you do see ads on SIFTD Games, and they do make money from the ads, but they also probably don't make that much money from the ads. So they have to sell these what is it, like a subscription to like the website or the Patreon or whatever, and so they try to sell some Patreon. I don't know what the subscription model is for their platform, but it I like seeing people who are more successful than me on their YouTube channel because I like to look at and emulate and see what can I do to be as successful as they are, and what could I create that would be like what they're doing. And that's a goal of mine, is to be more like SIFTD Games or any popular internet persona. In the last episode, Shane was talking, or one of the episodes I watched, Shane was talking about Mr. Beast. He was saying, oh, he doesn't think Mr. Beast is that popular. Well, Mr. Beast is the biggest person on YouTube, so I'm kind of surprised that he didn't think Mr. Beast is that popular. But Shane is like 10 years older than me or something. I don't know, but so he might not, recognize the importance of some content creators. But at the same time, he's a bigger content creator. Shane is a bigger content creator than I am. He's significantly more successful than I am. So it's funny that. So I like learning from him as much as possible. It's funny to see him comment on Mr. Beast and say Mr. Beast isn't that big, and he's like saying like Diplo is bigger than Mr. Beast. Maybe Diplo is slightly bigger than Mr. Beast, or maybe Mr. Beast is bigger than Diplo. I mean, who's getting more daily views, Diplo on Spotify and YouTube, or Apple Music or Mr. Beast on YouTube? That's hard to say. I don't know who's getting more daily views. Because music is the type of thing where like people like Diplo, you only like your specific type of music, and you don't broaden your horizons to different things, and you only like your artists, your 5, 10, 20, 30 artists, and so you don't know. A lot of times artists have a very narrow following, and you don't know if everyone likes that artist. Like I think Diplo is okay, but I don't think Diplo is as popular as Mr. Beast. I know I'm ranting, but that's what I'm trying to do more on this channel, and I'm trying to do more ranting on this channel and less reading short stories, because I like reading short stories on here. I like doing that. I learn a lot from that. A lot of what I gain from that is the confidence to speak on YouTube. It's kind of a confidence issue. So I read short stories on here to reading what Catherine Mansfield or Lucy Maud Montgomery wrote 100 years ago. That stuff that's in the public domain, and I read about what they wrote, and it's fascinating. It's really fascinating what they wrote about. And and I could read short stories every day on here. It's pretty hard to do, but I think I should. I think this channel should be more of a broad channel than a narrow channel, and I want to do vlogs like this. I could call this a vlog, or I could call this a SIFTD Games YouTube channel review, which is probably what I'm going to call it. But I like vlogging on here and speaking off the cuff. One of the reasons why I read short stories on here is so I get more confident reading and publishing my material into the interwebs. But once I get more confident, then I'm going to be vlogging more and speaking off the cuff more. Because I think this is equally as important. It's equally important to put audiobooks out there, and it's equally important to put vlogs out there. I'm probably not going to go more than 20 minutes on this because I think 20 minutes is a healthy segment to put out there. I don't really want to do more than that. But I think that's a good amount. It's a good chunk, a good segment that they're going to click on the video and say, "Hey, I'm listening to somebody talk for 20 minutes." If I did more than that, I'd run out of things to say, and there'd be a lot of ums and a lot of pauses and a lot of like uncertainty about what I'm doing. And I actually probably do have 20 minutes of things to talk about a day on here. So that's the idea of 20 minutes. I mean, I could talk for 3 hours, but I don't think it makes any sense to publish a 3-hour video of me on here. I don't think that would be a productive use of my time. I think I could be doing something else better than that. Because eventually I do run out of things to say, run out of things to talk about. I can talk for a lot of different things for a long period of time. But I think 20 minutes is the amount that I want to do per day. I even pick short stories that are like 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, so that because my attention span isn't that good, and I can't pay attention to things that long. So that's why I don't pick like long books to read, audiobooks on here. So I only pick like 20-minute stories to read. And that's going fine. I've got 300 views a month, which I used to get like 150 views a month. Like 2 years ago, I used to get like 150 views a month, and now I get like 300 views a month, which is, you know, it's peanuts compared to what successful people on YouTube do. However, just like Shane Satterfield said about his channel, I don't do this for the money. I do this because I like creating content. See, Shane Satterfield likes talking about video games. He's really passionate. He loves video games. I wouldn't say I love video games. I like video games, but I'm very passionate about speaking, public speaking. I'm very passionate about the content creation. Very passionate about YouTube and where the internet is going. And I know TikTok is gaining more market dominance, but even TikTok it's just a platform. Like I don't even think TikTok is growing that much anymore. I don't think they're growing at all. I don't think YouTube is growing at all. But just because a platform isn't growing doesn't mean the content on it isn't going to change. And I will say one thing. Most people are probably not going to be successful at content creation. Most people are not going to be successful at this, successful at that, as far as this industry goes, because there's just too many people to watch, and there's more creators than there are people who want to watch it, and it's just you're not going to gain enough of following to gain enough market share on here to make money. I might not ever get to 1,000 subscribers on here, and even if I do get to 1,000 subscribers, I'll be making like $50 a year, which is like nothing. Really bad, but I enjoy seeing my channel analytics stats go up. I'm very passionate about analytics. I used to play a lot of fantasy football and fantasy baseball, and I like to see my stats go up. And I don't play fantasy sports anymore, but one of my replacements for fantasy sports is YouTube analytics, because I could see my stats go up, and I could see if I do well, if I present myself well, I create enough content, my stats will go up. I'll get more popular. And I'm hoping to see SIFTD Games do well as well. Because I like Shane Satterfield. I like Shane Satterfield. I like the way he talks. I like Andrew Kyle. I like Michael Pachter. I like all the guys over there. I think they have an editor or two, some other people that work for their website, their channel. It's not just Shane Sarafil. It's not just Andrew Kyle. Again, I don't remember if his name is Andrew Kyle or if it's something else, but I'm really bad with names. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of SIFTD Games YouTube channel? It's got 15,000 subscribers. It's doing well, but it could be doing a lot better if enough time passes by, and they'll grow more. As as people watch their stuff, they'll get more popular. Because the thing about YouTube is, the more content you create, the bigger you get. So you can't actually get popular without creating videos. You're never going to be successful if you don't put yourself out there. So that's the idea. So you start off with, what I have, like 81 subscribers right now, and eventually get to 1,000, 10,000, 20,000. I'm probably never going to be super successful on here, but I like to use people like SIFTD Games as people to emulate. Use Shane Sarfield as people to emulate, and if I could speak as confidently as he does, and as articulately as he does, then I could be successful like he is. I don't know if he's successful. He could be poor for all I know, but I think he has some money. But I don't know. I just want to be successful the best way I can be. Even if I don't ever make any money, I still believe in putting myself out there and being the best person I can be. Let me know in the comments below, what is your opinion of SIFTD Games YouTube channel. I give it 2 thumbs up. Please subscribe to this channel to be part of the community, and please like this video. It really helps the channel out a lot. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.